Hello and welcome back to another Doctor Who action figure review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new electronic TARDIS with none other than David Bradley's First Doctor, the first ever action figure of this particular character. This is a set that I don't think many fans were expecting. I think we were all assuming that we would be getting something based off the 10th planet or something from the latter half of Season 2, considering the TARDIS prop was pretty battered by that point and a few alterations had been made. But instead, we've been treated to this lovely light blue TARDIS with the First Doctor as portrayed by David Bradley, who's mostly known for being in Twice Upon a Time, as well as appearing in the docudrama An Adventure in Space and Time, which is what this set is based upon. I'm still pinching myself over that we've got such a set, as I thought something like this would never happen. But before we get into it all, let's begin by taking a look at the packaging. As ever, the box is in the same blue and grey style guide as we all know and love, with the stacked Doctor Who logo and TARDIS on the side, the gold limited foil sticker, as well as the name of this particular set. On the back you have a quote and a little biography about the First Doctor himself. Out of the box, the Doctor and the TARDIS look amazing. It's something that is quite unique considering that this isn't actually based on anything in the actual TV series. So beginning with the First Doctor, this is something that I thought would never happen, considering that sadly, David Bradley is only ever meant to be a stand-in for William Hartnell, though I am glad he is getting some recognition, as he does put some of his own foundations to the character. So the body itself is basically the First Doctor, as we saw in last year's TARDIS set, but with a new head and some different paint apps. So first off, looking at the head sculpt, it's an outstanding likeness to David Bradley. He has the same Astrakhan hat, which I believe is a new sculpt. I can't really tell without putting the other one side by side because it looks so detailed. It has that same mottled effect and it just looks so realistic. The hair is also really good and has been painted in this off-white cream colour, which is also very nice, and there's no paint bleeds at all here. The paint apps across the face are just superb. I don't really know how to quite describe it. It's just a superb likeness. It really does look like the actor. Looking at the costume, the scarf is now that toothpaste colour as it was depicted in the docudrama. It definitely looks the part with all those red and green stripes. The coat has been cast in black, and it is the same sculpt as we've seen in the past. The cravat has just been painted black instead of being blue, and then looking at trousers, they have finally been fixed, as they were altered in last year's set, and they did look very odd, so hopefully this will please some fans that this has been rectified. Again, these are very nicely detailed. The trousers themselves seem to be cast in grey, with the checkered pattern printed on top. It just looks amazing. And then taking a look at the shoes, they have just been painted in a matte black, which is a very nice finish. Another thing to add is that sadly he has no paint apps on the rings, which is always a bit of an annoyance for some fans, including myself in this, but it can just be rectified with some silver paint. So for articulation for the First Doctor, it's pretty much like every other standard First Doctor figure out there, but you've got articulation at the head and it can turn side to side, and that is pretty much it for the head. You know, it's hindered by the scarf. So bada bing, bada boom. The arms can do a full 360 turn. The biceps can also do a full 360 turn. The elbows can also bend outwards, so, you know, you can pose them like that if you wanted to. The wrists can also do a full 360. The waist can also do a full 360, but it is hindered by the coat ever so slightly. I mean, let's try it now. There you go. Just about there. The legs can move forward and out to the side, but again hindered by the frock coat. He also has thigh articulation, and he can also bend at the knee. So you can have him bend like that if you want to, but I'm not going to. I think he looks a bit better like that. Overall, this is an amazing figure. It was something that I never thought we would ever get, and I can highly recommend any fan out there trying to get this set for the figure alone. I mean, it is just so superb. Up next, we have the new electronic TARDIS, which is based on its appearance from An Adventure in Space and Time. Again, really nice to see this in action figure form, as it's such an obscurity. This time it's in this brilliant, vibrant blue, very different to what we saw last year with that grey blue. The box also has this very dirty wash over the top, very much like the Adventure box did. You also have the new signage on the top, which is a lot clearer. The pull to open sign has also been given an update, where it's been given this aged look that looks like a bit like paper that's yellowed over time. Very reminiscent to the 9th and 10th Doctor's sign, which just looks great. The handles and the keyhole are more of a bronze colour this time around, as well as the covered up St. John's ambulance logo, which was a very clever way of getting round over the rights issues that we had last year. You also have the white windows with the window frames at the bottom. My only critique here is that on the actual prop, the windows were in fact black instead of white. It's a bit of a shame that this didn't transition onto the actual toy, but it's only a minor grumble. The wash itself, as I've already mentioned, is also a fantastic look for the box. You have these darker patches with some lighter grey washes over the top, just like how the original prop had. It's a really nice detail, and I've always loved the Artex lumps that they've tried to replicate. It's been on all of the classic boxes that we've had so far, but here it really does stand out with this electric blue that they've used. The roof is pretty much the same as we saw last year, and that too has had a grey wash over the top, which really looks great and gets into all of that wood grain. You also have the Fresnel lens, which was actually seen on the previous First Doctor box. Last thing to add is that the base has just been painted black, just like the actual box looked. And that too has also got a lighter wash over the top, just to make it look slightly battered, just like how the original Prohosky box actually was. Now, it would be pretty rude of me not to actually talk about this next bit, but obviously this TARDIS is electronic, as we've not seen one that was available in retailers' markets since the 13th Doctor's TARDIS, and it works exactly the same way as the previous ones do. So to activate the TARDIS's lights and sounds, you basically turn on the switch at the bottom, just without dropping it, so don't do what I just did, and then simply lay it down again. And I think there's one more sound. There we are then. And to top it all off, just like every other TARDIS, both doors can open, one that hangs loosely, with the other being spring-loaded. Overall, this is probably one of my favourite sets that have been released this year. I absolutely love that we've got a David Bradley figure, and I wouldn't have even guessed this toy whatsoever. It's such a superb sculpt, and it's nice that we're getting some acknowledgement towards his performance as the First Doctor. I do really hope we get a standard version later down the line, because I would buy that in a heartbeat. I also hope at some point we could see the possibility of seeing a Richard Hurndall figure, as that would be really nice to complete the collection of actors who have played the First Doctor. Second of all, the TARDIS is a brilliant addition to the line. Even though it's not seen in the series itself, it just looks amazing. The sheer amount of detail that has gone into this is just superb. I would even argue to say it's more detailed than last year's variant, but I'll leave that for you lot to decide. And that pretty much wraps up this review. If you want to grab this set for yourself, then I would highly recommend searching your local B&M stores. If not, then they are selling them online as we speak, so be quick on that, as they do sell quickly. So I wish you good luck on that. So I wish you all good luck for that, and stay tuned for another Doctor Who action figure review coming very soon.